Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and thank you for tuning in to a brand new episode of The Breaking Ground. I'm Deepti Sachdeva. We are here in Jammu and Kashmir. Elections are slated here tomorrow. But look at the fast-paced developments in the national capital. Arvind Kejriwal has resigned as the Delhi Chief Minister, and this paves way for Atishi now to take over as the next Chief Minister. Moments earlier, we've seen Arvind Kejriwal going to the LG's office, putting out his resignation, and Atishi is speaking as we are bringing you this live broadcast. Let's quickly listen in to what she's saying first up.
जब तक चुनाव नहीं होता, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने भरोसा कर मुझ पे ये जिम्मेदारी दी है और आने वाले कुछ महीने तक जब तक ये जिम्मेदारी मेरे पास है तब तक मेरे दो काम रहेंगे। एक, ये मुहिम चलाना कि कैसे अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और दिल्ली के हम लोग मिलके दिल्ली के लोगों के साथ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को फिर से दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री बनाएं, और जब तक चुनाव नहीं होते तब तक दिल्ली के लोगों की रक्षा करना कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी षड्यंत्र रचकर दिल्ली के लोगों की बिजली, फ्री बिजली, अच्छे स्कूल, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक में इलाज बंद ना कर दे, ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी रही। और उसी के लिए आज हमने एलजी साहब को पत्र दिया है, सरकार बनाने की दावेदारी का पत्र दिया है और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जल्दी आगे का
So that is the first response. We've just heard from Atishi, who, remember, officially is yet to take over as the Delhi Chief Minister, but she says, I have two responsibilities. We have to ensure that we make Arvind Kejriwal the Chief Minister again. And the second responsibility, she says, is to ensure कि दिल्ली के लोगों के साथ कोई धोखा ना हो, उनका फ्री पानी, उनका फ्री बिजली कंटिन्यू करें. So you realize the political pitch that she is using to, actually make the case that this is the BJP going all out, being vindictive against the Aam Aadmi Party. But remember, the story has a lot of layers. And is this just a plain, simple, swearing in that will happen of Atishi, or there is more to this? Let's bring up first up the top 5 questions that we begin this edition of the news with. These are questions that, we've brought together to help you understand where is the story traveling. Arvind Kejriwal has now announced that Atishi is going to be the new Chief Minister. He has resigned as the Chief Minister of Delhi. He's already tendered his resignation. Is this, ladies and gentlemen, a master stroke, or this is just a plain, simple face-saver technique by Arvind Kejriwal? That is our first question. And this brings us to our second big question now that will also be on your screens. The second big question reads, with Atishi already declaring that the Chief Minister to ek hi rahega, wo hai Arvind Kejriwal. So does that not give away the larger problem of the entire story and the allegation that the BJP has been leveling that Atishi will continue to be a mere pupper head? She is just a puppet Chief Minister. So what really does that also tell us about Atishi and her own responsibilities? Let's bring up our third question now on our screens. With the Delhi elections just round the corner in the next 5 months, that is the Feb of 2025, what does this particular decision mean for the Aam Aadmi Party and its future? Will this help consolidate the position of the Aam Aadmi Party that already is looking at a lot of other governance-related issues, corruption charges? What about all that? This brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to our fourth important question this evening. With charges of corruption against Arvind Kejriwal, he still, remember, has not been acquitted by any court of the country. Those charges still stand. So at a point like that, to Arvind Kejriwal to say कि अगर दिल्ली की जनता दोबारा हमें वोट देगी, हमें जिता देगी, मैं दोबारा मुख्यमंत्री बन जाऊंगा, is he trying to use this again as a political stunt? Maybe a political savior, many would say Arvind Kejriwal is trying to be. This brings us to our fifth question that is also now very important. With Arvind Kejriwal's jail ka badla vote se, you would recall this is a campaign that he had launched in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections, but that entire campaign completely bombed. We saw what happened. Arvind Kejriwal and the Congress got into an alliance in Delhi. In spite of that, the BJP swept all the 7 out of the 7 seats in the national capital. So is Arvind Kejriwal taking a huge risk? We will decode all those questions for you step by step, also with our panel of guests. But the BJP says that this is nothing but sheer politics by Arvind Kejriwal, and they say that Atishi is just a mere puppet chief minister. Listen in.
आतिशी का पूरा नाम क्या है?
आतिशी मरलेना।
मुझे वही तो पता लगा कि बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा। मरलेना मार्क्सिस्ट और लेनिन नाम को जोड़ के मरलेना बनाया। तो दिल्ली को कोई मार्क्सिस्ट लेनिनिस्ट चलाएगा क्या? हम आतिशी मरलेना कौन है क्या है मेरा उससे मतलब नहीं है, लेकिन विचार अफजल गुरु का तो फांसी हुआ। अफजल गुरु को फांसी नहीं होना चाहिए। पार्लियामेंट में अटैक किया, इनोसेंट लोगों को मारा, लेकिन फिर भी उसको फांसी नहीं लगना चाहिए करके आतिशी का ये परिवार वालों ने ही तो पूरा ये सिग्नेचर कैंपेन चलाया है। देश कैसे चुपचाप बैठते हैं? दिल्ली वाला भुगत रहा है।
राम तो गए थे रावण राक्षसों के नाश के लिए, तब भरत ने खड़ाऊं रखा था। ये तो जेल गए थे भ्रष्टाचार के लिए, शराब घोटाला, शिक्षा घोटाला, दवाई घोटाला। क्या जवाब देंगे? अपने मन मियाँ मिट्ठू बनले आपके नेता केजरीवाल, ये अपने मन मियाँ मिट्ठू हैं। देश की जनता, हरियाणा की जनता, दिल्ली की जनता ये सब समझती है।
ये जो नाम है ये जुड़ा हुआ है, जो अब वैसे तो इनका इंटरनल मामला है
जी
कि किसको सीएम बनावे वो जाने, लेकिन जिस तरह के समाचार सोशल मीडिया में आ रहे हैं उससे तो साफ साफ जाहिर हो रहा है कि अफजल गुरु की फांसी गलत है। इस दिशा में इनके पिताजी और इनके साथ जुड़े हुए लोगों ने वकालत की थी। उसी विचारधारा से जुड़ी हुई ये महिला दिल्ली की सीएम बनने जा रही है।
माननीय आतिशी मरलेना जी को बहुत बधाई, लेकिन ये दिल्ली का दुर्भाग्य है कि यहाँ पर एक दशक से आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार है। सीएम का चेहरा कोई भी हो, दिल्ली के विकास कार्यों पे ये जो पूर्ण विराम लगा हुआ है, ये जो दिल्ली की दुर्दशा है, ये बनी रहेगी जब तक कि यहाँ पर आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार है। क्योंकि दिल्ली वासी भी जानते हैं कि सड़क, पानी, बिजली, सीवेज, ड्रेनेज जैसी जो मूल सुविधाएं हैं ये आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार के अधिकार क्षेत्र में आती हैं। दिल्ली के सुधार के लिए यहाँ पर डबल इंजन की सरकार आनी बहुत आवश्यक है।
So multiple reactions that you've just heard that have come in both from the BJP and the centre, and they are literally targeting Arvind Kejriwal and Atishi now. We also have two of our colleagues, Tejshri and Priyank, joining us live from outside the LG office in the national capital. And we also have a panel of guests. I'll quickly introduce them and go into our reporters. Neoma Gupta, who represents the BJP on the show. Dr. Nikul Patel is leader of the Congress. Hakeem Rizwan Elahi is a political analyst. He does lean towards the AAP. But with all your permission, I want to get in Tejshri and Priyank first up. Tejshri, people are asking that, is Atishi today just a mere puppet? And forget about any other political allegation. When Atishi herself is speaking to the media, she says, Mukhyamantri to ek hi rahega, wo hai Arvind Kejriwal. So what does this mean about where does the power, where does the authority really rest?
Well, it is very much clear from the fact that, as you rightly mentioned, that Atishi herself said that no matter what, Arvind Kejriwal will remain to be the Chief Minister of Delhi, and then Gopal Rai says that हमारे नेता जो हैं वो Arvind Kejriwal ही रहेंगे. So all in all, there is a direct message. There is no direct and indirect hint. There is a direct message from the Aam Aadmi Party as well that their leader remains to be Arvind Kejriwal, because Kejriwal, being the national convener, being the backbone of the party, will be taking the important political decisions, alliance decisions, policy making decisions, and Atishi has herself accepted the fact that she will be working under the guidance of Arvind Kejriwal, called him as her guru as well. But yes, as of now, when we asked our Aam Aadmi Party ministers about how do they see the statements coming in from BJP, who call Atishi as a puppet CM, they say that BJP has an habit of making such kind of allegation, and they also alleged that the BJP has a mindset of anti-women, so that is why they cannot accept Atishi as the women chief minister of the national capital, and that is what the placard of in fact Aam Aadmi Party is to portray a women face, so that in fact that could also smoothen their way for the upcoming Delhi Assembly elections, because there was in fact a dent on their image after several episodes reports of Swati Maliwal, then the corruption allegation, and Kejriwal himself announcing that he wants a clear image because he himself was aroused himself as a leader, as a political leader after, in fact, fighting against the corruption, and that he wants to come out clear in his image. 100 days plan all set up for Kejriwal, campaigning, rallies, door-to-door campaigning. So yes, it is not just about the resignation. There is a larger picture that Aam Aadmi Party is inching and aiming towards. Back to you.
All right, Tejri. Now let's get in, Priyank, also on the legal aspect of this. You know, Priyank, because this is a deeply legal matter. You know, these are charges of corruption. The entire case right now is being heard at the courts. There are charge sheets. There are, you know, a lot of other people who are accused in the entire case. But what Arvind Kejriwal has attempted to do, Priyank, is to make this political. He's trying to say that, you know, it's the people's referendum today that will decide whether I'm honest or not. So is that just a political tool by Arvind Kejriwal, or how do the agencies really look at this entire story moving ahead? Because till the next elections, that is the Feb of 2025, Priyank, if you do not have a closure in the case, can Arvind Kejriwal still become the chief minister?
No, certainly not, because that will also depend on the apex court order, because while granting the bail, the apex court came up with a strong view that Arvind Kejriwal should not visit his secretariat. So that means, Deepthi, that even if he would have been the chief minister since he was out, and then people would have asked him question that why these developmental works are not happening, so it would have been very difficult for him to justify his stand. Till the time, for 5 months, he was inside the prison, he was portraying himself as a martyr, and he was saying that there's a conspiracy which has been hatched. That's why I'm not putting forward my resignation. So if Kejriwal would have remained the chief minister, Deepthi, he would not have been in a position to go for any kind of developmental work. And since the party is going to, Delhi is going to go for the polls in few months, 6 months of time period from now, it would have been very difficult for the party to justify their stand. So this legal hurdle has been converted by Arvind Kejriwal as a political point, so that he can gain some sympathy vote from his party, from his voters, knowing the fact that if Arvind Kejriwal would have remained the chief minister, certainly he would not have been allowed to go to the secretariat. That's why Atishi is also maintaining that he will be the interim chief minister. But you can imagine the mindset of someone who is going to be the chief minister of the national capital, which is certainly eagerly waiting for some developmental work. She herself is going with a mindset that, okay, for 6 months I'll be there, then my boss will come and become the chief minister. So the big question is that whether she will be able to perform.
And, you know, Priyank
in
and
a
Tejri, typical examples of sycophancy. When you talk of Indian politics, and this is a party that came to be different. Hum sabse alag hai. Aam Aadmi Party is what they actually, you know, started this entire fight with. Only for the moment, I'm thanking both Priyank and Tejri, but they'll continue to get us more details as we'll again go back to Neoma Gupta, Nikul Patel and Hakeem Rizwan Elahi on the show, who've been very patiently waiting. Now, Hakeem Rizwan Elahi, because you do support the Aam Aadmi Party, what are you doing? You know, do you believe that the people in Delhi, people across the country do not realize that Arvind Kejriwal is trying to use this as a political opportunity? You know, there are no courts that have given Arvind Kejriwal a clean chit. And yet he says कि अगली बार तो मैं ही मुख्यमंत्री बन के आऊंगा जब दिल्ली की जनता मुझे वोट दे देगी. He's not telling the people the truth.
First of all, I welcome you to Kashmir, as I can see houseboats in the background. Secondly, what I would like to say here is, see, BJP has been setting the narrative. When Arvind Kejriwal was on the, when he was in the jail and he was not resigning, BJP ran the narrative that Arvind Kejriwal should resign and somebody else from the party should come up and take the place. But now, when Atishi has taken up that place, they have, they have thrown a bigger narrative this time. So, any which way, the main aim of Bharatiya Janata Party is to derail Aam Aadmi Party. That, the people who are there, who have the political acumen, they understand it very well, what Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to do. See, any which way, whatever Aam Aadmi Party does, BJP has to, just go against that particular, whatever you say, particular program or particular narrative.
It's not about the BJP also. See, Atishi, Atishi, when she was speaking
You know,
to the
give
media,
her,
what
give
did
her
she
some.
say?
See,
Atishi said
let's see.
कि चाहे
See,
कुछ भी
it's
हो जाए,
too soon.
मुख्यमंत्री तो एक ही रहेंगे, वो है अरविंद केजरीवाल. So what is the point
see,
in announcing a dummy chief minister in Atishi? You clearly
it
are
is
telling
too
me that
soon.
because you
See,
had no other way out, so that
she
is
has
why
been in the
Atishi has
system.
been announced as the chief minister.
I'll tell you, she has been in the system. She has been on the key posts, and I'm sure it's too soon to jump to the conclusions. I mean, give her some time. Give her some time, and we'll see how she's going to work. And she has already a proven track record of because she has been the minister, she has been an MLA, she has worked on policy making in the education department in various capacities. So let her give some time, and let's see how it goes.
See, Hakeem, it's not us, questioning her credentials. We don't do that. It's just her own thinking, her own psyche, or perhaps what she has been briefed. कि नाम के लिए आप
No, she was
मुख्यमंत्री हैं,
being
लेकिन
no, no,
सारे
no. She
powers,
is
सारे
actually
decisions अरविंद
see. I'll
केजरीवाल
tell you.
लेंगे.
No, no, no. What she meant to say is that actually she said that it happens. These kind of things happens only in parties like Aam Aadmi Party, and Aam Aadmi Party has done something unprecedented. If it would have been some other party where the dynastic rule is there, they would have made somebody else the chief minister. So it has happened for the first time. If you see, these kind of things happen very rarely, and she was actually very
You're
much
making a
humbled
virtue out of this.
by the
Hakeem, you're making a
responsibilities that she
virtue
got
out of
from the
this.
Aam Aadmi Party.
You're not, what you're not mentioning is that there are serious corruption charges. But let me get a Neoma into the conversation before Nikul comes in. Now, Neoma, would you welcome this move? At the
Absolutely
end,
not.
you always wanted Arvind Kejriwal to resign. Arvind Kejriwal has resigned today. He's named Atishi as the chief minister. Why is the BJP complaining?
Why is the BJP complaining is because when Delhi's roads were flooding and people were dying in basements near the electric poles and potholes, why did he not resign then? When we face a completely preventable water crisis, why didn't he resign then? What about when the city's pipelines were overflowing, rotting away due to lack of maintenance? Why didn't he resign then? All these which is happening right now is a timing of political theatrics. And, I don't want to waste more time to get into conjecture and useless rhetoric. We've had enough of this, and Delhi's actually tired of this. I just want to say Mr. Kejriwal's resignation was, I don't know if you can hear me, was too little too late. And that does not absolve him at any cost he has turned the city upside down in the last few years because of both action and inaction. Mr. Kejriwal's motive have been threefold. One, to create buzz and drama over his release from prison. After all his attempts to invoke sympathy during the Lok Sabha elections fell flat, resulting in a 7-0 defeat for the Aam Aadmi Party. Two, to remove himself as CM and install another one until the elections so that the massive anti-incumbency he's facing can be thwarted. And if not thwarted, it can be pushed away.
Okay.
This massive.
But Neoma, how is that different from what the BJP does? In the state of Haryana, you removed Manohar Lal Khattar because you realize there is anti-incumbency, right? So I do not know whether that is, a policy that is just for the BJP, not for others. In Gujarat, you changed the entire cabinet overnight. So Neoma, there are examples where political parties take such decision. You take a risk. Whether that risk gets rewarded or not is the critical question. I quickly want to get Nikul into this conversation back, then we'll go to all of you again. Nikul, do you support this decision, or you also believe that Atishi is merely a puppet chief minister?
See, firstly, when Arvind Kejriwal was put behind the bars, I think media come with some flaring faces that this can be the probable chief ministers of Delhi. And definitely today, that probability has proven correct that Atishi had been given the charge of chief minister. Definitely, when becoming a chief minister, Atishi must not speak like this because he is now the head of the entire state. Now, when it comes to Bharatiya Janata Party, they always try to put a narrative that the entire system is failure. But what the 7 member of parliaments were doing since Delhi was facing all such problems since last 10 years, and now again the BJP 7 MPs are in charge of those representatives, but they have never come with the problem and solution for that. They only want to
Nikul, I also want you to talk about Arvind Kejriwal.
Party.
Do you agree with his strategy? Because he had no other resort. he decides to come forward as a victim. See, problem is that earlier he was wanting to project himself as an outsider. Now he's an outsider plus a victim. Do you believe that this is a good political script? Do you believe that what Arvind Kejriwal has done is right?
See, when it comes to a political script, I think Arvind Kejriwal was bound to take some decision because Supreme Court had imposed some restriction on him. And now Atishi, if you see during the time or tenure of his jail, Atishi was carrying out the all government activities very well. So that is how she well deserved for it. But the statement by Atishi definitely is not well deserved as putting the CM face. She must have said that I will take the charge and responsibility. Definitely you can take the guidance. Even Bharatiya Janata Party member of parliament was double engine Sarkar in Delhi. That means the first engine is always the Narendra Modi and Amit Shah in every state that is ruled by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So it's a political hierarchy. You have to follow your seniors and definitely you have to take the guidance whenever you are given a charge of particular state. So Atishi on one side is doing correctly, but she must not.
I just have the last couple of minutes on the show. So we'll take one question with everyone. I'm just requesting all our guests to be a little brief. You know, Hakeem, in the run-up to the 2024 battle, the Aam Aadmi Party began a campaign saying jail ka badla vote. Entire campaign flopped. 0 seats for the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress.
That has happened before as well. It is not the first time it has happened. Even in the previous election when Aam Aadmi Party, used to get, the majority in assembly seats, the Delhi people have always opted BJP in the parliamentary elections. But things are going to change. I'm sure things are going to change, and it has changed for BJP as well, because BJP has lost 40 seats.
But Hakeem, do you not believe corruption is still a problem with the Aam Aadmi Party and with Arvind Kejriwal?
Madam, I feel like laughing at these narratives, because these are the narratives that are thrown by the BJP. See,
you think
BJP
corruption is a laughing matter? You started your entire political journey, Hakeem, on the premises of being an anti-corruption movement. You hit out at the likes of almost everyone, including the former Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit ji.
Single rupee of money trail. Why is CBI and EDI not able to give a single rupee of money trail? Why? My question is why? Why is the Supreme Court saying that why you cannot keep
progress? The case is being heard, Hakeem. But for you to say this is a laughing matter, Nicole, do you believe that the charges against Arvind Kejriwal, the entire Delhi liquor policy excise scam, is a laughing matter, Nicole?
No, definitely not. Whenever any chief minister is charged with some charges, then definitely a serious matter for everyone, and people of Delhi has to decide what they want to do. The fate of definitely Aam Aadmi Party will be rely on the next election, because after severe charges faced by all major ministers and chief minister, people of Delhi will rethink on to whom they want to go with the government.
You think Delhi will vote for Arvind Kejriwal again, Nicole? Just say yes or no.
No.
No, who would they vote for?
They will vote
Congress.
Okay, you're saying they would vote for the Congress, not for the AAP. Neoma, there is a lot of chatter about who will the BJP field in these upcoming Delhi elections. Could it be the former Union Minister Smriti Irani? Could it be the likes of a Basuri Swaraj? Who will take on Arvind Kejriwal? I mean, no matter what, you cannot underestimate the man called Arvind Kejriwal. Neoma.
Obviously, I can't underestimate a man who just believes in theatrics and not, committing anything which he has done to the Delhi population. And when it comes to the upcoming elections, it's very clear if people will vote for BJP because they will vote for the
Okay. All right, so Neoma says people will vote for the BJP. Nicole says AAP not going anywhere, it's the Congress. But Arvind Kejriwal thinks that this is that one decision that will help him sweep Delhi yet again. We'll watch that story and that space only for want of time. Neoma and both gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Times Now. It's time for us to quickly head into a break.